Welcome to DJNTV and Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe. Now introducing the one and only Ben Stowe.
Yeah, baby! Yeah. Good evening and welcome to tonight's show with Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe. This is where you get to bring those questions you've had burning inside. Bring them out. There's the chat room. Yeah, don't put them there. Just go ask someone else who really cares. We're just here to talk.
Wow. Way to be rude to all of our friends, John.
Oh,
Goodness.
wait. Oh, we're live.
Yeah, you weren't supposed to say that on air.
Dang it. Inside voice. Okay, we'll try again. Good evening and welcome to tonight's show. Tonight we're going to talk about a few different topics. This is just not going to be just talking robotics, which is kind of a cool little tie-in to the DJ industry, and we're going to get into that tonight. But before we get into that side of things, Ben, I think we need to hit the gear side first.
Okay,
with
all
tonight's
right.
show. And what I mean by the gear side is that we're DJs, and DJs use tools in our profession. And sometimes our tools get old, and sometimes our tools break. Ben, what are my chances if my tools break in 2021?
Well, as I like to say, schedule maintenance or your gear will schedule it for you. But I think where you're going with this is that there's a lot of things on back order right now, and there's going to be more things on back order. So whether it's a matter of adding new technology, replacing broken technology, or what the situation is, don't plan to get things quick. Some things still are going out quick, and obviously we're trying very hard to keep facilitating that, but it just, hope is not a plan. It's unfortunately another one of those things we talked about last year as a possibility that has come true. Sort of difficult to predict the set of circumstances that we have with the huge rise in demand, a semiconductor plant catching on fire, just all kinds of things happening. But back orders are plentiful. I mean, we're seeing some manufacturers that are back ordered until September, October, so completely after the season. So here's my advice to you. Do not wait, but be patient. Get something on order now. We don't require any down payment, by the way. If you want to order something now that's not in stock, you don't have to pay for it right now. In fact, our CFO would rather not hold on to your money.
Right.
So you can basically get your name on the list to get something held. Some things are coming faster than expected. I think some of the manufacturers are a little bit afraid right now. The shipping container shortage, the ship shortage, the longshoreman shortage, all these kinds of, it's just everything has the word shortage after it. You can take any word and put the name shortage after, put shortage after it, and you're probably right.
I have felt there's a Star Wars shortage.
There's always a Star Wars shirt. By the way, I get this great shirt. One of our viewers sent it to me.
That's good.
My son, ever wise and worldly, he said, "Is that a play on JavaScript?" And I said, "Yeah,
it is.
Good job, son. All right." But
it's a good thing he's
anyway,
pretty.
Moral of the story: please be prepared and proactive. Also, nobody likes to hear this, but I just had a meeting with a vendor that flew in last night. Reps are starting to come back, and we're seeing some major price increases. When you say major price, should a person expect a 10% increase, a 20% increase? Yes.
All of the above?
Yeah, or more. Everybody's trying to mitigate it as best we can. Some of it is because to compensate for the shortage of ships and containers, now things are being air freighted, which is very expensive. I know this isn't good news and nobody likes to hear it. I don't like to say it. But anyway, that's just my advice. If you set your expectations low, you can only hopefully be pleasantly surprised, and we've seen some of that where we've told people, well, it's going to be 4 weeks and then it ships a week later. Everybody's happy in that situation. But there's been a lot of it going the other way, so that's what I'm saying. Definitely a couple do nots. Do not sell what you have or get rid of it without having the new thing already. Do not say, I'm going to sell this controller to buy a new controller, because you may have no controller. Do not.
And Ben, let me just hang on. Let's hold it. Just stay right there, because there are people who have been talking that they have talked to other dealers, and not that but they have said, yes, it's on its way. And then they find out later that it's not on its way. So do not sell until it's on your
Right.
doorstep, really.
And I don't know, I don't want to say that other dealers are dishonest, because I don't think that's necessarily the case. In some cases it is, but in
Possibly,
some
yeah.
cases it's not. And we're probably guilty of saying the same thing. And the thing is, as frustrating as it is, the only thing we have to go by is what we're told.
Mhm.
The manufacturer says it's on its way. We say it's on its way.
Exactly.
Well, these days, it's on its way can mean a lot of things. It could have been sitting at anchor at the port of Los Angeles for a month, waiting for the ship to be unloaded. So, people say, when are they coming in? It's almost a guessing game at this point.
Sure.
It is very difficult and very frustrating to sit in my seat. Never before have I not wanted to be in this seat so bad. I would even say 2020 might have been better. And I know those are fighting words, but it might have almost been more fun to be here in 2020. But I think that, this too shall pass, right? Everybody's working on a solution, but it is a very big problem. And this is not an industry problem. I read an article the other day about miles of Ford trucks that are parked because they can't finish building them because they don't have the parts.
Yeah.
That Apple, Microsoft can't get product. This is a big, big, big problem. And mind you, some of these companies, General Motors, Ford, Apple, these companies are bigger than our entire industry. That company as a whole is bigger than our industry as a complete sum. So if they can't solve the problem, we're not going to solve the problem overnight. So again, hopefully we have an immediate solution for you ready to ship. I just urge you to be patient, to think ahead, to plan ahead. Again, no money down to get your name on something that's reserved. We do have thousands and thousands and thousands of items in stock right now too. So it's not like the shelves are bare, but they're going to get that way, I think.
Sure.
And the other thing is my second do not. Sorry, I really want to say this.
I wanted to make sure we get that in, and I got to go a different direction here.
All right, yeah, we should. Yeah, this is depressing. I don't want to talk about it anymore either. Like I said, I don't want to sit in this chair right now. The second do not is do not promise your clients something you don't have already. So if the idea, because this has happened in the past, if the idea is I'm going to get somebody to commit to buying it, to hiring me to provide this, and then I'm going to go try to find it, you may find yourself in a very difficult position of having to tell your client that said product does not exist anywhere. There are major manufacturers. I'm thinking of one that basically makes mixing boards and speakers that is out of mixing boards and speakers until October. So,
wow,
believe me, nobody's enjoying that. I'm certain that as hard as it is to be at my desk, it's harder to be at their desk.
Yeah, for sure. If they're not,
they're effectively out of business till October.
Yeah. Okay, I want to stay with this area. Let's look at categories. If a person needs to get a projector, are there projectors out there that they could get a hold of?
Projectors are one area that are really tough.
Okay.
There are some, but projectors are one area that's really tough, and it's not any one brand. And again, semiconductor shortage. Basically anything with a chip in it, which is most things, probably tough to get.
Controllers, I'm guessing then that means they're tough. They're tough to get. Yep,
we are seeing some controllers forecast out until September, et cetera.
Speakers, are there availability with some if someone needs something?
Yeah, fortunately, and a sponsor for Disc Jockey News, Electro Voice, and partly I think it's because they're owned by Bosch, which is a giant global company that has tremendous resources, and they were able to sort of plan ahead. But stock there is good, and stock on some other things is good. Some of it is just a supply chain issue.
Right.
The number of containers that are coming, for companies that make their products in Europe, for example, or Asia. It's a matter of getting it here into the States. So I think we're okay. Things are shipping a little slower, but there's not the months long backlog.
Sure.
The biggest things are things with, again, semiconductors, but also ADDA conversion, because a plant that made most of those analog to digital conversion chips burned. So it's gone. So their manufacturers are having to redesign their products because those chips are no longer available. So they have to redesign it for a new chip. Anyway, we could go on all night, and I really don't want to because it's
No,
like I
it's
said,
just
it's sad
give
and
an idea,
depressing.
because we want to talk to you about some different areas, because I've heard people, another area that is going to be a huge concern is the NLFX gaff tape still available?
It is, and our gaff tape is made in the United States. But even our cables are made in the United States, and they're exclusive to us. We're having trouble getting copper. Just to make our own cable in the United States. It's not even, I mean, anybody who's bought a 2x4 or plywood lately knows this is a bigger problem than our industry. And the surge did not help. We sold almost a year's worth of cables in 2 months when the world reopened in March and April. So we got caught with substantial demand. And at the same time when raw materials are really strained right now.
So is that what we're going to call the March and April? It was the surge, like, in the Marvel universe, it was the blink.
I think the surge is good. I think it was, I mean, I think everybody is seeing it. The bookings are coming in, the venues are reopening, tours are getting back on the road. Yeah. It's the great thaw after 15 months of being parked. Minnesota reference there for you.
Yeah, I like that.
So things are starting. Yeah, the surge, and everybody's trying to spin up at once. Yeah. And I do see it leveling. I see it really tapering off. People are starting to get into the swing of things, but that's where I feel like hopefully nobody's at a mission critical situation right now, and try to avoid putting yourself there.
For sure. For sure. All right, let's kind of move on. So for those of you looking for gear, plan ahead. Don't put yourself in a difficult situation. And
yes, reach out to us. We are absolutely happy to work with you. We understand. We want to help you plan, but just don't scream at us because something that you want doesn't exist right now. We've pulled every rabbit out of every hat we can. And
you're out of hats.
We're getting out. Yeah, we're out of hats. We're out of rabbits. I don't think so. I think we're still creating some things for people. But I had a guy, literally his word for word, he said, "I hear you're a guy who pulls off miracles for his customers." I'm like, boy, that is a high expectation.
Yeah, see this bar, it's way up there now. Go.
Because it's almost getting to that point. Like, well, this is going to take a miracle. And that is exhausting all day long. I love serving our customers, and I love what I do. I love what our staff does. But as I said to you before the show went on, I have never been so excited to go deep into the woods with no cell phone coverage like I'm going to the end of this month. Because after the last 3 months, I definitely need
a break.
Oh my gosh.
That'll be fun. Looking forward to hearing how that trip goes. Let's jump into robotics a little bit, Ben.
Let's do that. Yeah,
we talked about doing the show about a month ago, and just life has just kind of gotten crazy here. So
the last month happened.
Last month happened. It's been that time.
For both of us.
It's just been one of those things going on. So,
in addition, I think I did like 30 gigs in April.
Yeah, so. You actually left the house for a while. It was crazy.
It was something. Felt good to work again though. Felt good to get out. Yeah.
Yeah, that means you had to wear things besides slippers on the feet, though.
In addition to that, I've also been running sound at our church, which is very small, very simple sound gig, but it just becomes one more thing Sunday morning. And our sound person was 81 years old and has not come back. We just resumed in-person worship like 3 Sundays ago. And so pastor's like, "I don't know how to turn on the mixing board. Would you please come in?" I threatened to show up in pajamas, but I couldn't because I actually had an afternoon sound gig, so I had to come dressed for that. So I one of these times.
He comes in, got my bunny
it's
slippers.
Been fun though. It's been good to even at church. It's been good to get back behind a console. Updated the firmware in the desk and installed the new loop driver for assisted listening. And it's just fun to get out and do it. So this is what we do, right? This is make sound, and
it's what we've done for 30 some years.
Yeah, it's getting close to that. 28 for me.
Yeah, it's been a long haul. So
you're older than me, though, as we've discussed. So.
Yeah, there is that. I started when I was 10, so that's where it all goes. Yeah. So back about a little over a month ago, you were involved with a robotics competition, which was kind of an exciting thing from our area because a team from our school went up there. And
I cheered for him quietly because I had to be neutral, but I did cheer for him. I saw the Upsala group. So, and your son used to be on the team, I think.
He used to be, yep. And that actually kind of helped open some doors, and we'll get into the value of the robotics thing. But this was one of the first times they could actually compete or do anything robotics wise.
This was the first competition in the United States since COVID, is what I'm told.
Yeah. So they were really excited to go up there and do that. So for someone who's never been to a robotic competition, kind of give us an idea of what that's like.
You know, I think a picture is worth 1,000 words.
I like pictures.
And I have a few pictures that I hope are worth the words. So what you see here, this is in our local arena. And what you can see, you've got these pit areas here. And of course, they're
Look at that spot up on the top there, Ben. That looks like that spot up there up on the top. That looks like a great spot to drop a cupcake from.
Yeah, I think we need to do that one of these days. We keep talking about it. And viewers, if you don't know what he's talking about, we actually filmed a show from, let's see if I can turn my my annotations on. Here we go. Drawing. We filmed a show from right up there.
Yeah, it was somewhere up in those. They had cupcakes in the rafters or the trussing of the roof.
Well, they started in a bucket because it was my guest's birthday, who's another person who does rigging, and so the cupcakes started here, and we pulled them up in a bucket to here so we could eat them.
Uh-huh.
But then the question became, what would happen if we dropped it? What would happen to the cupcake? So one of these days we'll have to answer that question. But yes, so excuse me. So these are what they call the pits here. And each team has like a pit stop basically where they build their robots, and their robots go compete on a field where they gain various points for various things. The field you can see is right behind this pipe and drape here. And we provided the lighting and some video and things like that to sort of augment the effect. So let's take a little bit closer look here. Maybe. Come on, computer. Have we forgot how to do this? No, we haven't forgot how to do this. All right. Excuse me. So anyway, you can see we brought in some lights, and the team colors are red and blue. So we did some different things. When the red team wins, red lights go crazy.
Oh, sure.
Down here, they did some video interviews. This is fun. Is First Updates Now. It's a video channel that live streams robotics competitions. And here behind the curtain, you can see parts of the playing field. Mm-hmm. And here you can see some students working on their robots. There is one of the robots there. And you can see their team number on the bumper. And then the robots go out and they create alliances. So 3 robots from 3 different schools will join in an alliance, which is pre-chosen for them in the heats. And then they can choose, the top ranking ones can choose their alliance team members for the playoffs. And anyway, then they go out there and they compete against another alliance, and everybody gets scored kind of all at once. And it's actually pretty cool. It's pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
Of course I'm a nerd, so I would say that, but I was also an athlete, and this is kind of the mix of everything, right? So, and here you can see a couple of the robots. One of the things that they gained points for was after they shot all these balls into goals, they had to climb up and hang on this thing. So obviously some fun physics there. Robot has to be light enough to climb, but strong enough to climb and still do all the other tasks. The reason I took this picture is this robot malfunctioned. And this is the view from where I was sitting. Mm-hmm. And there were targets on the ends that they would kind of ingest these dodgeballs, basically, and then they would go shoot them at high velocity into these target hopper things. And depending on which hopper they got it in, the more points they got, that sort of thing. They've gotten a bit more sophisticated. So these robots here, these green LEDs, these angry green eyes looking at me, mm-hmm. Those are for optical tracking and aiming. So basically the LEDs help the robot identify a target and aim for it. And some of these were really cool. I mean, it was just fun to watch these things just, just firing like machine gun these balls into the target. This robot had a malfunction, and the head started going back and forth, then it whipped around and aimed right at my face. And we all knew what was coming next. So I took the picture right before the ball went flying at me. So
yeah, Wally doesn't look too happy with you right now.
No, it was the most iRobot thing ever, where it just these angry green LEDs zoom right on you, and the turret goes. You're like, yeah, well, I know what's coming now. Like, yeah, me versus the machine. But happy to say I caught the ball, by the way. Ooh. So by dodgeball rules, the robot is out. So
nice.
Also was happy to see that it only had one ball in its hopper. So I don't think I'd have caught more than, if it had done what they were doing to the target, I'd have just ducked. We had an MA2 lighting console right there, and it's like, please don't hit the console. But
save the lighting. So there's students from all over the upper part of Minnesota were at this event. Let's talk a little bit about, and this is where we're going to tie it into the DJ world, is these kids are students, athletes, however a person wants to refer to them as, these that are on the teams. There are skills that they are using that are going to be something that kind of ties into the things that we use for gear in the DJ industry.
Oh, absolutely. And really anything in the world. I mean, I marvel at the creative nature, because these robots are all different. They're all conceptualized from the ground up. There's a set of parameters that are laid out. What do you got to do? Well, you got to shoot balls into a target, and you got to climb. And, there's a lot of, that's a very oversimplified way of looking at it. So then this high school, team sits down and conceptualizes this from the ground up. So you've got electrical engineering, you've got structural engineering, you've got, all kinds of things that are going on in here. Not to mention just the engineering thought process of identifying solutions for problems or challenges. And, I think I learned a lot in sports, and I learned a lot in band and the activities I was in. And when I was in robotics, it was not this. It was like, hero, because, our robots couldn't even play a tune. But, I think I learned a lot in those things about life. I learned a lot, particularly as a wrestler. I learned a lot about, if you get yourself into a mess, you got to get yourself out of the mess. Can't just pass the ball. No offense to you basketball players, but really beyond that, I haven't been able to use anything I learned in wrestling in real life, except for that time at your trade show with Howie. But that's really neither here nor there. Those are not skills that translate to real life unless you're unlucky enough to get, jumped or something, and then maybe. But I think, robotics really translates into a career. It's easily translatable into something in the STEM field.
Oh, it's certainly, and that kind of ties into where Brandon, my son, which a lot of you have used his instant DJ request, which was all coding, and a big part of what he did with robotics was coding, solving problems of how to make that machine do whatever. And one of the areas in which he really excelled at was when they would go into autonomous mode, which was basically he programmed it to go this far forward, turn right, go over here, pick up a ball, back up, turn, and shoot it into the hoop, whatever. But basically, you push start and let it go. It
has to function on its own, and if those commands are wrong, then and we see that with the various robots in the competition. Some are really good, and some are not. And I have a video too. I could just no real good place to put it in. No better or worse place to just put it in. I think I'll just pop the video in real quick. I'm not sure if you'll get the sound, but here you can see the playing surface lit up, and you can see the playing surface. The official playing surface wasn't available, so the robotics group had to actually make one. So that was pretty cool too. They sort of tried to practice what they preach. But just the red team wins, so
And there's the lights, yeah.
So, basically we just tried to, and you notice there's no fans because it was not an in-person event. That basically was only the students that were there and some of their various support staff. So of course, streaming was a big part of it. And actually I have a quick video of the stream here that Fun did. and so you can see all the things that are kind of going on, you know. There's a view of the playing surface from the stream, as it were. So anyway, it was kind of neat. It was kind of fun too, because these are, like you said, there are our brothers and sisters, so to speak, in the technology world. And I know a lot of DJs maybe got into this because you do like technology and maybe you're building some of your first gear. I also know a lot of DJs got into this without any love for technology whatsoever, and you just wanted to, be a great MC or rock a party or whatever it is. And but at the end of the day, we're all in this, kind of little world together, and makes for a pretty cool thing. So.
It certainly does. And I think one of the things, like you had referred to, when you were in high school and the capability for technology to get your hands on it and to work with it was so much lower than it is today, and the things that they can do and these kids are excelling at, that this is an area for some that we as parents need to be helping them have these opportunities, whether that means supporting the robotics team or what have you, because there's opportunities, things they're going to learn there that could take them on a career path that we wouldn't have been available or didn't even exist 10 years ago.
Well, your son may have never been the starting quarterback or the homecoming king, but he now makes more than you and I combined. So, yeah. I think that's part of it is, our kids aren't always what we think they should be. But there's a lot of diversity and opportunity out there. And sometimes the things that we don't understand are tremendous opportunities, and for me, that's a hard thing about staying plugged into, the now, because what I know is rapidly becoming the then, right?
Yeah.
Very fortunate. We have some, very bright people at NL that are helping to keep us on the forefront. And of course I try hard because, I'm a geek. If I lose my grip on that, then there's the door for me in the industry, I'll let you go. But, it's just kind of fun to, like you said, watching them push the envelope, back over there's a light I made out of a coffee can, and how I started in the industry. And I think, we didn't have CNC machines and we didn't have those types of technologies. What would I have built now if I was starting,
Right.
So,
yeah, you'd probably used maybe a cream corn can this time.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but I don't know. I think about, making my own circuit boards and drilling holes and, through hole connectors and I don't know.
Yeah, there's so many cool tools that are available now as you watch, some of our friends who are manufacturing different items, whether it's, DJ booths, photo booths, whatever, and the things they're able to make, it's like, that's just so cool.
Well, I think the robotics people, we've enjoyed the partnership that we've had with them for several years, and we're really glad to be a part of the event. It's not just a gig for us, it's an opportunity to make a contribution here, and we've brought some moving lights and things into school robotics classes and talked about the technology that's being employed there with sensors and stepper motors and that sort of thing. And some of the robotics coaches and teachers have said, "Oh, it's really cool that you guys are helping these kids out." And I said, "Oh, no. I'm recruiting."
I'm in recruiting mode.
I'm recruiting. Who's your best student? So I just want to. I'm planting our flag here. I'm getting in to know these kids and make sure they know about us. When they come out with these skills. Because again, we're a company that makes its living by solving problems for people.
Right.
Whether they're logistical problems or technological problems, at the end of the day, that's what we do. We're not just a purveyor of gear. Lots of places you can get gear. I think what NLFX is known for is solving problems or preventing problems.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly, we don't get them all right. I mean, we're not perfect by any means. And like I said, we're maybe kind of running out of rabbits, but we know that that's where we, that's our hallmark. So.
Yeah, that it is, and having a generation, and this is something even my multiple children have said, is that we were probably too rounded as far as we were dabblers. We could do that, we could do this okay, we could do this okay, and we could do this okay, and they're like, our generation's not going to be that way. We're going to be having our area in which we're that robotics problem solver, or we're the person who's doing problem fixing things here, keeping the. And it's the robotics
specialists.
Yeah, very a world of specialists, and that's
I think there's value in the dabblers too, though. I think, look, if you're a young person watching, first of all, thank you for watching two old guys yap here. But, I mean, I think there's value in dabbling. And maybe I'm saying that because it's what I know, but I tell you, it's, you don't ever want to be caught one-sided either,
Yeah.
Working with one of our young academy graduates. Of course, we started this academy for sound and light technicians within our school system several years ago. We've hired a number of those students, have moved on to roles within the company, good roles, and was just talking to one of our younger, hirees, hasn't been with us all that long, a couple of years maybe, about what the future holds. And there's an organization that we're working with, a performance group. And they're talking about an international tour. And they said, they were talking to me about going on this international tour. And I said, just take that guy,
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this younger person was very excited about the possibility of going to work in Europe for a while. And it's motivation for them. But, it's the same time, it's a teaching opportunity. I said, look, if you get on a plane and go to Europe with this group, understand that you need to be the only person there that knows what's going on. I mean, they're not taking you to go sightseeing. They're taking you because your job over there is to make sure that they don't have problems,
Right.
Solve problems before they know they have them. Right. And I think dabbling is a big part of that. Being a specialist is good, but you do have to solve a lot of problems. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm sort of talking in circles here, but I think if you're really good at writing code, that's awesome. But I think you should also draw some of that structural engineering, try to bring the whole toolkit together maybe.
Yeah. To have that understanding of how things fit together is certainly,
sure.
If there's anything Lego's taught us, it's making sure we understand how things fit together.
Also, Lego taught us, put your toys away before you walk around barefoot at night.
There is that. I guess all the lessons.
It's a lesson you don't have to learn twice.
That's for sure.
First time you step on a Lego barefoot, you won't forget. Just saying.
Yeah, that it is. Let's take a couple of minutes here, Ben, because you guys are going to be hitting the road here in about a month, a little over a month.
Yeah, I guess that's about right.
Yeah, you headed down to Chicago. And
Kat was at the Midwest DJ show last month.
Yeah.
So it's starting to slowly feel more normal. We've got a lot of people that are vaccinated in the country, and I think we're seeing a correlating drop in cases. The vaccines appear to be very effective. I'm a numbers guy, simply playing the numbers. It's hard to argue any other case, right?
Right.
So I'm hopeful that that's what we're seeing. I think I speak for all of us when I say I'm ready for this to be over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to go back to normal. I'm ready to go back to Chicago. I've got family there and friends there. And it'll be good to do that. It'd be good to see our friends in person again.
Yeah. Yeah, that it will. If you guys want to check out information on that show, it's marqueeshow.com. You guys can pop out to the website and take a look at that. But yeah, that's going to be coming up here, I think, right after Father's Day.
I think it's June 22nd through the 25th.
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark. You guys can go, again, marqueeshow.com and check that out. He's got a lineup of speakers and a lot of great exhibitors that will be there for this year's show. So it's looking like it's going to be a very good time in Chicago this summer. We
have a great lineup of speakers, too. We have Electro Voice, so that'll be good.
Yeah, speaking of speakers, there's that. Speaking,
I think, a lot of great, I think he's got, that's one of the things I'm really probably more excited about than anything, with all apologies to KC. I'm, not all excited about, the show or whatever. I'm excited about who's going to be there. I'm excited about, my friends and the people that I know and love that'll be there. And, of course, one of those is Big Daddy. Gotta send a shout out to him. So
yep, Sean will be there, and a lot of our friends from around the country are going to be coming into the show. So
there's lots more than that. I just feel bad because he's been trying to call me for like 4 days, and I've been so busy pulling rabbits out of hats. I have not had a chance to call him back. So if you're watching, Big Daddy, I love you. I'm sorry. I will call you back. This John guy's got me doing a show right now, so I can't do it right now.
But a little bit later. So yeah, that's you guys will be with Electro Voice there at the show, and of course the Evolve 50M. I'm thinking you're going to have that on. That'll be the first time on display there. Yeah,
it'll probably be the first show. It's actually been, no, it was at the Midwest DJ show, but yeah, it'll be, yeah. But it'll be there. I'm certain it'll be there. I mean, it's been a pretty solid hit for Electro Voice. I can't see them not having it there. Excellent. I truly don't know. You know, it's I've been focused on what I can do, and we've got a great marketing team, and you know, Kat and of course Electro Voice's marketing team working on that. So I just said, tell me where to be and how to dress, and I'll be there.
Yeah,
so.
which hat to wear and which shirt to. Yeah,
let's be honest. I don't really need a lot of prep time to talk about sound. I mean, I could pretty much just you know. You know, you remember we did the live show in Atlantic City, you and I, and we had a very small live audience that came to watch us filming on the boardwalk.
Yep.
And that guy said to you, something like, you know, he says, "Holy crap!" He said, "Ben actually knows this stuff." He said, "I thought he was like reading it off his screen or something." There he is standing on the beach just talking about this stuff. He's like, I didn't think he knew that stuff. Yeah, well, I do. So
yeah, he does.
I mean, let's be honest. We talked about, you know, sports and wrestling and all that. Let's be honest. I didn't get this gig on my good looks. Okay. So
oh, fun.
It's not so much what's here as what's in here. Yeah. That's the only reason I got this job.
Oh, funny. Okay. We're going to wrap things up for tonight. At the top of the hour, Howie's going to be in the chill room tonight at djntv.com/chill. He's going to be doing tonight's recording. And for the life of me, I can't remember what. No, excuse me, not tonight. That was last night. Tonight it's Brian. Howie's going to be with Brian and Jay, and they're going to be doing it. Gosh, I'm off.
3 more of my favorite people. Love those guys.
Brian and Jay are going to come in and do their weekly kind of a music chat, DJ chat, and I'll be doing that at 10 o'clock Eastern in the chill room at the top of the hour. So you go to djntv.com/chill. We were talking Howie earlier, and he was in the chat room, and he laughed at your wrestling thing. So that threw me.
He's only laughing because he won.
Yeah, well, there was that. I mean, he did kind of put you to the deck there, and got that pin. But, there's rematches.
I'm gonna switch sports. I'm gonna switch from wrestling to track. So next time you'll have to catch me. So
that might work. But he's pretty motivated. So. So yeah, jump out there and the Brian and Jay show coming up, and I keep Robin put that link into the chat so you guys can jump out there and have some fun with that this evening, and we will catch you next time. Thanks for being with us tonight. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.